Losing weight when living with MS or chronic illness is hard, and I'm struggling with it right now. I've gained a few pounds since menopause hit, and the struggle is real to drop them. Have you gained weight since diagnosis? Would you like to lose weight? Did you know that obesity is a risk factor in developing MS and can affect the progression of MS? Yep, it can. This is a topic that my viewers have been asking for, so today I'm going to dive into what the research says and tips to help us lose weight. And you may be surprised to learn that it's not all about food and exercise. I'll also create a free handout that you can download. I'll put a link in the comments and in the description below. So let's start with the bad news. In an article released in January of 2025 in a Neurology, Neuroimmunology, and Neuroinflammation journal, they reported on a study done on over 3,000 people with MS where they followed them for 10 years. They found that in participants with MS, obesity was associated with faster disease progression, poor health-related quality of life, and more rapid cognitive decline. Both overweight and obesity were associated with higher MRI activity. Well, dang, that's not good. They looked at the EDSS score, results of the symbol digit modalities test, new lesions on MRI, and patient-reported physical and psychological worsening and processing speed worsening. Some of the ways being overweight may be affecting these is it's associated with chronic low-grade systemic inflammation and local inflammation in the brain. And when we're overweight, it can affect our vitamin D levels and the bioavailability of vitamin D. And our gut microbiome may be affected by being overweight too. It can lead to increased intestinal permeability and systemic inflammation. And losing weight when we have MS is freaking hard. So many of our symptoms get in the way of healthy habits that could help us to lose weight. We have fatigue, pain, immobility, medication side effects, spasticity, and more. Okay, enough with the bad news. Let's get on to the good news and tips on how we can lose weight, shall we? Tip number 1 is to stick to a realistic calorie target. The science is really clear on this one. We need to consume less calories and burn more calories to lose weight. We need to be in an energy deficit. If we think of calories as energy, if we eat too many calories, that extra energy gets stored as body fat to be used later. The problem is we may not use it later and the pounds start to add up. So let's do a little bit of math. If we burn 2,500 calories in a day and eat 2,000 calories, we will use stored body fat for those extra 500 calories. To lose a pound of body fat, we need to burn 3,500 calories or 7,700 calories to burn a kilogram of body fat. How do we manage our calorie target? We need to count calories. I know, it's a pain, but if we don't know how much we're eating, we can't adjust it. I have said this in other videos. What gets measured gets managed. There are a couple of free tools out there to help us do this. One is MyFitnessPal. They have a profile where we can enter our information and our goals, and it gives us our calorie target. It also has a place to enter our food and our exercise. The next one is Chronometer. It has similar tools where we can add information into our profile about ourselves and our goals, and then we can add our food and exercise. I'll link both below, and I'll put the links on the free handout too. To lose a pound a week, which is a safe and realistic goal, we need to reduce our calorie intake by approximately 500 calories a day or 15 to 25% below our maintenance calories. This can also help us from getting hungry and then getting hangry. Do you get hangry? You know, the negative emotions that come up when we get hungry? Yeah, I can definitely get hangry. Let me know in the comments below if this happens to you. If we cut too many calories per day, it can also lead to getting too hungry and binging, or it can trigger our body to hold on to fat. It can lower our energy levels and lower our ability to lose weight. Consistently cutting calories, but not to the extreme, is the way to go. Slow and steady wins the race. I'll talk a little bit about calorie density later and some of the low calorie density foods to increase and some of the foods that sneak extra calories into our days. The second tip is to eat mindfully. We need to pay attention to how hungry and how full we are. If we wait too long to eat and we're starving by the time that we eat, we tend to overeat. So we need to eat when we're a little hungry and not put it off too long. And when we're eating, it's equally as important to slow down and not overstuff ourselves. Our tummies have stretch receptors in them that tell us when we're full and we've had enough to eat. It takes a few minutes for the signals to be sent, though, so if we can slow down and eat mindfully, we'll eat less. And try not to be distracted while eating. Put down the phone, turn off the TV, and try to focus on the food and eat slowly. The third tip is to let go of perfection. When we try to be perfect, it can be easy to make mistakes and then get frustrated and then give up. Give yourself some grace. I try to eat well 90% of the time, and for the other 10%, I give myself a break. I eat a predominantly whole food plant-based diet, so I try to get 90% of my calories from whole foods that are plant-based. That means I eat things as close to their natural state as possible, like cherries, squash, oats, or beans. And for the other 10%, I may eat some processed foods or a treat or two. I've been known to snack on vegan chocolate chips or potato chips. I like chips. The key is to track it and not let it happen too often. This is where using a tracking tool can really help. Remember, what gets measured gets managed. Here's an example of what a day of eating may look like. Rolled oats for breakfast with berries. A salad with lots of veggies and beans and maybe some nuts for lunch. A fruit for a snack. A dinner of black beans, peas and carrots and brown rice, and a few vegan chocolate chips for dessert. The third tip is to drink water before meals. If we drink water before our meals, it will help to fill our bellies and help us to eat less. Drinking 12 to 16 ounces of water before we start eating will help us to not fill up on too many calories. The benefits of drinking more water are fantastic too. It hydrates us, it helps lessen fatigue, it brings oxygen to our brains, it helps with digestion, and it makes us prettier by helping our skin. The fourth tip is to have some of your favorite healthy meals on hand. Most of us have some favorite healthy meals. Make sure to have the ingredients on hand so it makes it easier to choose them, especially when we're having a hard day. One of my favorite things to eat is red lentil dal. It is made with red lentils, a bunch of spices, veggie broth, and ketchup. It comes together so easy and can be served over veggies or grains, and I'll also put the recipe on the handout too. Another favorite meal is some kind of beans with spices, a grain, and a vegetable. It can even be a frozen veggie or grain to make it super simple and quick. I always have these ingredients on hand so I can throw together a quick and nutritious meal. The fifth tip is to avoid sneaky calories. The sneaky calories can really add up. One of the easiest ones to avoid is oil. Oil is a calorie bomb, coming in at approximately 120 calories per tablespoon. It can really add up quickly. If we saute veggies in oil, that can be 2 tablespoons right there. And if we use an oil-based salad dressing, that can be another tablespoon. That's 360 calories. Instead, try to dry saute the veggies and add a bit of water, broth, soy sauce, or wine if they start to stick. And we can dress our salads with an oil-free dressing or fresh salsa or a squeeze of lemon or lime. Another place that hidden calories can add up is in sauces and spreads. I love me some tahini, but one serving is 210 calories. Or if you're using something like Earth Balance spread, it comes in at 100 calories per tablespoon. Drinks are another place for hidden calories. Juices can be calorie bombs too. Orange juice is 110 calories for just 8 ounces. Most glasses these days are 12 or 16 ounces. Swap out the orange juice with water with a squeeze of lemon or lime in it. Don't drink unnecessary calories. So in the examples that I just mentioned, we could save up to 780 calories. Number 6 is to stay away from temptation. I don't know about you, but I have a snack time. Mine hits when I'm watching TV in the evening. I'm drawn to the kitchen and I start trolling for a snack. To keep myself away from temptation, I don't have the foods in the house that are not part of my healthy eating plan. I don't ban them completely, but I try to save them for special occasions, like when I'm having family gatherings or when I'm out with friends. I might have potato chips or some french fries. And if I'm going to a party where I know I'm going to be tempted, I try to eat before I go so I'm less tempted to eat the high calorie or the less than healthy options. Another way for me to avoid temptation is to keep reminding myself that nothing tastes as good as being healthy feels. Number 7 is to have low calorie foods on hand. A whole food plant based diet is naturally lower in calories than the standard American diet. We can eat an entire pound of broccoli for just 153 calories, or we can have 5 cups of air popped popcorn for 175 calories. I have low sodium soy sauce in a spritzer bottle that I use to spray the popcorn, and then I sprinkle on my favorite spices. A 3 bell peppers has just 93 calories, and a medium onion has just 44 calories. Sounds like a beginning of a lovely fajita. And a medium zucchini has just 33 calories. I may add those to my fajita as well. Search for low-calorie fruits and vegetables and add those to your grocery carts and to your plates. For comparison, let's look at these foods next to oil and tahini. A pound of broccoli at 153 calories, 5 cups of popcorn at 175 calories, 3 bell peppers at 93 calories, an onion at 44 calories, a zucchini at 33 calories, versus 1 tablespoon of oil at 120 calories, or 1 tablespoon of tahini at 110 calories. The low-calorie foods will fill our bellies and be satisfying, where the high-calorie foods will barely put anything into our bellies. Number 8 is exercise. Yes, we need to exercise, but it doesn't have to be for hours and hours. You may have heard 10,000 steps a day. That's just not reasonable for many of us. We're dealing with symptoms or disabilities that may get in the way. A short 20-minute walk can add up to 2,000 steps to our day, and it can burn 80 to 100 calories. If we do it daily, it can add up to 700 calories a week. That can add up to a 10-pound weight loss in a year, if we're consistently watching our diet too. Start with where you are and increase your steps daily. One easy way to increase steps is to set a timer for the top of the hour each day. When it goes off, walk 250 to 500 steps. It takes just a few minutes, and the steps really add up. Try doing aerobic exercise. It can burn between 400 and 600 calories an hour. Join an hour-long class. I really like my Zumba class, or maybe it can be a class in a pool. The water helps to keep us cool, and it helps with balance too. There are exercises that we can do from a seated position as well that will increase our strength and our cardio too. I'll leave a link below to an awesome video of an interview between Dr. Aaron Boster and Dr. Gretchen Hawley, where they talk all about exercising with MS, and they give some great tips on seated exercises. The other exercise that we should be doing is lifting weights. Lifting weights can burn 110 to 440 calories per hour, but that's not all. When we build muscle mass, it increases our overall metabolism and helps our body to burn more calories at rest. Number 9 is to get good sleep. See, I told you it wasn't all about food and exercise. Getting good sleep helps us to regulate our metabolism, and it can help with weight loss. It also helps with our hormones. When we don't get good sleep, it can affect hormones like ghrelin, which increases hunger, and leptin, which signals fullness. When our sleep is good, these hormones stay in balance. Poor sleep also increases insulin resistance, which can make us store more body fat and increase our cravings. There is a food connection too. If we stop eating several hours before bed, it will help with digestion and melatonin production, which helps us to sleep better. Number 10 is to manage stress. One of the stress hormones is cortisol. While it's great for immediate threats like being attacked by a dog or avoiding an accident, it's not so great long term. Unfortunately, whenever we feel stress, our bodies release cortisol, and this in turn can signal our body to hold on to fat, especially the fat around our middles. Cortisol can also be a trigger for eating. When we're stressed, We also tend not to sleep well, and we know that can interfere with weight loss too. I highly recommend having a daily meditation practice and using mindful breathing to help manage stress. Try taking a few long, deep breaths every morning before getting out of bed, and then a few more when you get back into bed. Or if you're in a stressful situation, try doing a couple of breaths of cyclic sign. It's inhaling deeply through the nose, then taking another short, quick inhale, a sip of breath, then exhaling slowly through the mouth with a gentle sigh, like this. Try it. It feels great, and it signals our bodies to relax. There you have it, 10 tips to help lose weight with MS or chronic illness. What tip did you like best or did you find surprising? Let me know in the comments below. To get your free handout, see the link in the comments or in the description. To see more on sleep and stress and how it affects MS, watch these videos next. And until next time, be well.